Alright, John here again. What is it, like September? Oh, it is September. No, it's October 6th, 2023. It is 3:25 p.m. and the temperature is 86. The thermometer at the house says 100. So we're having some hot days here in October. I thought we were done with that. Anyways. Whew. So I just started this 1992 300E Mercedes-Benz W124. And I have this auxiliary fan, high speed switch. It's weird, when you turn it on you can hear the power draw. Watch the RPM when I turn it on. It draws and then it recovers. Oh, it's still kind of in a high idle a little bit. Got good voltage. Turn it on. Fan doesn't really affect it too much. I think it's a 25 amp draw. And I'm just gonna drive this thing up and down the street, get it up to temperature, let it idle with AC on until that needle goes up to the 100 mark. And then we'll turn that high-speed fan and see if it helps. If it helps, good. If it doesn't help, then we're gonna have to figure something else out, because this climate is just, it's brutal on these cars. And it's always strange when I read on in different forums, I live in the middle of Death Valley, it gets to be 130, I drive mine with air conditioning on all day long in that heat and it never overheats. I don't believe that. You see more posts that I live in Los Angeles and stop and go traffic on the freeway, it just starts to temperature, I have to turn the AC off, it just Okay, drove around the block, it's almost at the 85 mark. One thing I've noticed with this car, if it's in drive with the AC on, this will go down to 12.2. You know, turn that fan on maybe. Can't even hear it. I think it's working. Yeah, at times I see it where, it'll go down to 12.2. It probably needs a stronger alternator, even though we replaced it like 3 months ago. Okay. Give it another couple minutes here, just sitting here idling. I'm trying to duplicate what my son does. He gets off work, he'll go through a drive-through place, get an out hamburger or something, and there'll be like 20 cars. And he's just creeping along when it's this hot out. It's 94. So we'll just keep monitoring it. Yeah, it's at high speed, it's that blower motor. Then you put it in drive. Yeah, see, that's pretty low. 12 volts. So that blower motor is a big, giant draw. I wonder if the blower motor just needs maybe a new resistor or something. I don't think I've ever messed with the blower motor on this one. I did on my black 300E that I had that I sold. It was never blowing air out, and I couldn't figure it out. And I finally I took the blower motor, you know, and uncovered it, and somebody had installed it backwards where it was blowing air out of this, you know, out of the vents on the hood or something. It wasn't blowing anything out of these vents. I just took it and I turned it around the right way, and boom, all of a sudden I got air. Alright, just took it around the block some more, really get it hot. The temperature is over 90 degrees here. The dashboard thing said 98 a little while ago, now it says 94. 12.1, 12.2. That's not really good. I don't like that. Watch, I turn this blower to low. See, it starts recovering. AC's still on. Yeah, tell my son during extreme heat. The temperature of the car though is like, you know, I'll tell him put your AC on low. I was getting hot air at these side vents when I was going up a hill and stressing the system out. I was just flooring the car everywhere. And it's something to do with the mono valve. Just a screwy system, I tell you. You got this mono valve over here. It's part of the heating system, and it during the winter time when you want heat, the mono valve has this little plunger that's inside of a little solenoid. It's all wrapped copper like this, and when it's energized with 12 volts, it makes that plunger open and close, and that plunger goes into a little hole where the coolant is like that. And when you don't have heat and you have AC on, or you don't have AC on, nothing is on, there's always 12 volts being applied to the mono valve to keep that plunger down and keep the hot water from circulating in this heater core. Well, I imagine when the voltages start going down on this with the AC and the blower, the high-speed blower, it probably starts messing with the voltage, gets weak for the mono valve, and that little plunger lifts up just a little bit, just enough to get hot air out of the side vents. And you W124 owners probably have experienced, why am I getting cold air and hot air at the side vents, you know? That stupid mono valve. Either you're not getting enough voltage to it, or it's dirty and you can take it apart and clean it, you know. The coolant gets in there and, you know, sludge and all that stuff. So, okay, I see the temperature going up. Let's stress that system out. Here, you see where it's at. At 12.7. Let's heat this thing up. Yeah, when you start getting down, I saw this thing go down to like 11.9 volts. Not good. Everything in here, modules, everything likes 12 volts. Getting a new alternator, the manufactured alternator with a voltage regulator on it. It seems to be doing its thing. And you can see it, it's creeping up, it's creeping up. Let's wait for it to get to that line, and we're going to turn on that fan and see what happens. Have the hood closed, a very well insulated engine compartment. Not a lot of airflow in there, okay? Watch if I put it in drive. This is what he's doing. Oops. Now see? Still at 12 volts. Car will still work, but now it's going to start. That's when that mono valve is going to have a hard time. You're going to start feeling hot air. I mean, it's bare borderline, you know. I think it's a 60 amp alternator. 80 amp would be better. 125 amp alternator would be a lot better. 150 amp. You know, that way it can handle all this press. It's sure when the car was brand new, everything worked perfectly, right? 30 years later, though, you know, your wiring is old, the car is old. You know, your coolant passages inside the block have a little bit of scale around it that you can't get to, even though you've done acid flush. You know, it's 30 years old. It's almost 150,000 miles. Okay, now look at that. Let's take the seatbelt off. Oh. Okay, let's look at that. Turn that on. I can hear it. See how long it takes for it to cool down. Let's see what the draw is too. See, we're at 12 volts. Let's give it a minute. It'll probably hold it there, but let's try just shutting the AC off. Voltage going up. Okay, it's been about 3 minutes. Voltage has come down. Good God, this heat. It's an Indian summer. Holy crud. Yeah. So it brought it down. I got the auxiliary cooling fan off, AC off. You know, just gotta baby this thing. You know, yeah, it's gone down a lot. So that fan does work. Now, yeah, you're at 13 volts there. Turn that on. Really sucks it dry. So when you got a big draw like that, the wires get hot. They get very hot. When it starts going below 12 volts, then you know you're really getting those wires hot. It's when the fuse blows. But got the AC on. Still okay. It'll probably keep it at that 90 mark. But these cars don't like sitting still in traffic, idling in drive, especially. If I put this in drive, I'm sure it'd go down to, you know, see it's. All right. Yeah, it's 99 degrees. It's 99 degrees here. God. It's climate change. Okay. And that hood gets hot opening it. So So just double checking. This is the bad boy here. See this thing, 191, 190 on one side, 180, 88, 92. Surrounding area is about 152. So that's where all your heat goes, right there. Can't really measure anything in here. I know that coolant is awfully hot, 190. Deal. So you got to be careful when you're driving any old car in extreme heat, you know. So that's about all I can do with this car. I mean, I could put a stronger alternator in it just to handle the draw of, you know, everything that's turned on. It's the only thing I could think of. High-speed fan does work. It does cool it off, so make sure your high-speed function is working. But it's kind of nice to be able to turn it on like that before it gets to the red mark and just starts boiling, because that's what he did to that car. The fan didn't come on because it was not working right, and the water boiled, caused so much pressure in the system. It opened up the radiator cap and shot it down into the expansion tank behind the wheel well. There's another tank there, and that's the only place that it was leaking water out of when he pulled in the driveway that, I don't know, a month ago. So, final thoughts. Everything seems to be working okay, but the electrical system is maxed out as far as the draw, with all, you know, AC on, blower on high speed fan on high, you know, it just maxes it out. So stronger alternator would be a cure for that, you know. And then people with the hot air at the side vents, this car has experienced it, or the black one experienced it. They all do it eventually. Now here's a little Mickey Mouse trick that you can do that I'll probably do to this car. You can buy a new mono valve. They don't sell them at the dealer anymore, I don't think. They kind of like, there's a company that remanufactures them, and I don't know, they're $80, $90, $100. You know, you can still have a brand new one, and if your voltage in the car is not, you know, it's not getting a constant 12 volts, it's like dropping out when you're using your AC. Even a brand new unit, that little plunger that blocks off the flow of coolant to the heater core is going to open up just enough to let a little coolant through and get hot air at the side vents. Well, I'm going to install a little, I've seen it, other people have done it, on one side of the mono valve. I got to figure out which way the water's flowing. I've got to look that up. I think there's one hose on one side, and I think there's two hoses on the other side. But you can put a little shut-off valve, like a little plumbing, you know, thing, cheap. During the summertime, you just shut that off, and that stops the hot air, you know, or the hot coolant from flowing through the heater core. Then during the wintertime, open it up. You know, I mean, that's cheap. You could do that for $10, probably. So, yeah. Now, maybe in springtime, if we decide, you know, we want more cooling, we might experiment with the electric fan. Take the fan clutch out, get a shroud for the radiator on the inside of the radiator, get another shroud with either twin fans. You want to cover about 70% of the radiator with an electric fan for it to work, like this thing. And hook that up to a relay mounted over by the fuse box probably, and then just a sensor on the top of the head. There's a lot of openings there that you can add a sensor, and so it's thermostatically controlled. It's all automatic. It just turns on, you know. Anyways, this is John, and I'm out of here.